For thousands of years, elders and knowledge keepers have used stories to educate future generations. Stories and words can help heal our hearts and make Mother Earth a better place for all people. This is Healing Hearts.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Tracy Koga and welcome to Healing Hearts. Well, the holiday season is fast approaching and we are, and some, maybe tentatively, are continuing our usual festivities. And what does that mean for our Indigenous and newcomer communities? Well, we'll talk about that tonight on Healing Hearts. But first, a message from our sponsors.
So the Hive is a climbing and fitness facility, so we're bouldering only, which means no ropes or harnesses. We use mats for protection. But the 4 pillars of our business are climbing, education, health and wellness, and community, and those aspects all kind of come together to create like a 5-star climbing experience.
Welcome back to Healing Hearts. Thank you to the Hive for being a sponsor this year. It has been a great ride with all of you. And it gives me a great pleasure to welcome my guest right now from the ECCM with the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba, as well project coordinator, a project manager, Maggie Yaboa. And Maggie, it is an honor to have you on our show. You know what? It's all about sharing lived experience, and this is going to be a happy show because we're talking about the holiday season, and for the first time in a long time people can be together. So let's talk about that. People coming together, what does that mean for you and your new position?
People coming together to me means happiness, joy, family being together, celebrating the holidays, and also celebrating Christmas.
Oh, so well. And let's talk about your new position, Maggie, and what the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba has done over this year.
Mm-hmm. So the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba is made up of different ethnic communities in Manitoba here. We started off with about 22. Now we've gone up to 28. So what it does is it welcomes newcomers, immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, and all those people who come into our city. So it creates a welcoming place for people to have a space that they can share their culture, their different diverse history or information that they bring, and then they have a safe space also to be able to talk or voice their opinions and their needs. So that is what the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba stands for.
And it has done such a great job. And Maggie, you know, as a project manager, you're going to take on some great, I know, projects, but for yourself, what does this position mean to you? And also you were a former council member too as well.
Okay. I'm very new on this role, but this position means a lot because the Ethnocultural Council was started about 4 years ago when we had the influx of refugees from Syria. So a group came together and thought they should welcome these members who have come to Winnipeg. So they organized a celebration where food was shared, and it was called Stronger Together. So Stronger Together, the government was very generous and sponsored and gave some grant for this event to go on. From there, the thought came about, Stronger Together, let's all come together as different ethnic communities. So when we came together, it became the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba, Stronger Together. So it's a way of welcoming new immigrants. And even though the Ethnocultural Council doesn't work directly with individuals, we work with the settlement agencies, so many welcoming communities that we have here to be able to reach newcomers and hopefully meet their needs. Not only their needs, but also be like a bridge between the newcomers with the government and work out policies, how they can live, some of the welcoming things that they need, and hopefully get them to be well acquainted and settled in Winnipeg, Manitoba. That is what the Agricultural Council stands for.
Oh,
So my role was created when Stronger Together came together, and then the need came up that somebody needs to be between helping the council, because the council is made up of about 14 volunteers. So it's a board, and it is a working board who have been working and planning and organizing so many events and doing so many of the work that needs to be done for the our newcomers in the city. So as a project manager and a resource person, my job would be to be working through IPW, which is Immigration Partnership Winnipeg, which is also under the Social Planning Council of Winnipeg. So I work through IPW to be like a bridge and help out with the Agricultural Council of Manitoba. So that will be my job.
wow, and that's a very big job because there's so many projects. And I just briefly want to mention that Immigration Partnership Winnipeg is actually a great sponsor for Healing Hearts, and they're also working on a very special toolkit, the Indigenous Orientation Toolkit. And it was also based on newcomers' ideas and comments on the information or misinformation that was given to newcomers, right, on history and and on our Indigenous community.
That's right. Yes.
And so maybe your thoughts on this toolkit, how can it help, or hopefully it will help newcomers too as well?
A toolkit like that is very helpful in a way because it's a resource that will help newcomers. And sometimes when you know where you are coming from, it helps you to know where you are going. So when they know the history of, especially of our Indigenous people, how they've set their land for us and how they've been very generous to share with us, it makes you think twice when you are doing something here. And it makes you know the need to acknowledge them each time that you are running any program or you come together. So a toolkit like that, which will give the history, is very, very important and very, I think, very beneficial to newcomers.
Mm-hmm. And Maggie, in your opinion, what are some of the real important things that we need to think about when welcoming newcomers to our city?
When newcomers come in first, like they are strangers or they are not aware of some of the things of our culture and stuff like that. What they need the most is one welcoming place, yeah, and them feeling at home, feeling welcome, having a place to live, having shelter, which is a place to live, food, having people to help them with their documentation because of the policies that we have and so many forms that needs to be filled out. It becomes very, like difficult for newcomers. So as long as they will have all these settlement agencies helping them with their documentation, their claims that they are making, and even settling in the city, knowing where to get food, bus, education, where they have to register their children based on if they brought children, their medical cards to obtain things like that is very, very important. So when they come, they need that. And because of their culture, it's also very good if they have somebody. So their living here or their settlement here becomes culturally appropriate based on food, because food also makes part of their culture. So they can have their food and be well settled in here. So this will be the needs. And most of all will be job.
Oh.
It is difficult not having a job. And if you live in a strange land and you can't do your work, we know how some of them come with expertise that they bring, but they are not able to utilize it sometimes based on the language barrier, or sometimes based on education, or even the culture around us. So they need help with all this and more information.
And that leads me to my next question is, can you share your story, Maggie, on your journey and how you came to be in Winnipeg, Manitoba?
Oh, my story is such a long one, but I was fortunate to be able to join my husband here, who was attending Red River College at the time, was a student. Things were not the same as now. So my story didn't become like I was a newcomer, but it wasn't like a refugee or asylum seeker or maybe migrant worker or international student or somebody with precarious, status. So it is a little bit different. We have all these different types of migrants here that, need different solution to their problems or what they need. So I came right into a family, and I have my sister also here who had 4 children. So mine, like being able to settle in here wasn't a difficult issue for me. Yeah. So because I had it that way doesn't mean I shouldn't help others. Because down the line, I got into some immigration issues, which is another topic for another time. And I had lots of people who led and helped me through it. So I felt like giving to the community in that same way, especially newcomers.
Can you talk about those immigration problems? Because there might be somebody out there going through the same thing.
Well, uh, will, will it be okay if I talked about how I settled in?
Yes. Yeah, okay. No.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So again, like I said, I had a family here, my sister here. So being taught what to do, what not to do wasn't an issue for me. But I was able to find out with the education where I can go, since education really opens door for so many things in here and everywhere. So I kind of enrolled into Red River College, where I took some courses because I have the background of being a teacher back home. I was teaching in the elementary school before I migrated to Canada in 40 years ago now. So I kind of went to Red River College, and I took child care. I became an early childhood educator. From there, I also did a diploma, and I did special needs children program. I worked with that for some time. But again, my passion is with the community and working with people who have come here new to help them to be able to settle in and be accustomed to what we have here. So I decided to go back to school and do social work. So I went back to U of M. At the time, my last born was 18 months. So I went back to school. I have 4 children now, and I was able to complete my course. I'm a registered social worker, and I worked in the North End with our indigenous people for 16 years now, until this week, switching to be with IPW.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that has been my background. Yes, yeah.
Well, and that's such an inspirational story to anyone, any newcomer, that you can, right? If you put your mind to it, you can do it. No, and thank you for sharing that. And hopefully it does inspire anybody out there right now tonight to follow your dreams. And congratulations, 4 children, and oh my goodness. Now, I would like to welcome, I think Belinda is here. Belinda? Not here yet. Hopefully she can join us. She will be coming soon. So Maggie, I guess since we're talking about the holiday season and everything, do you remember your first Christmas here? What was it like?
Yes. To me and to my family, Christmas is a religious festivity. So it's not like how everybody looks at it, but mostly being a religious festivity, we celebrate Christmas to welcome or to remember the birth of Jesus Christ, which is not the same for everyone here. We know how Christmas has been commercialized and different programs and different things go on. So we bring back some of the memories we have from back home. Since I have my children here, my sister has her family, we have nieces and nephews, we've got grandchildren and all that. We've become a very big family here. So bringing back our celebration or how we celebrate Christmas from back home involves us like the week before Christmas and right into the new year. But the most important one is the Christmas Eve. Yeah, we call it Christmas Eve or the night before Christmas. So it's meant to be welcoming the newborn, which is Jesus Christ. So back home, people will set up some kind of tent, like they build, use palm nut branches, which is all weaving, and then it's used to build like a small hut where it represents the nativity scene where Jesus was born. So youth especially will do that, and then churches are open, everybody goes to church. This is where we have all the fancy clothing that we are being presented with our parents. And then the Christmas day becomes another big church service before we have our dinner.
Wow. Oh. Well, it'll, I guess, definitely be a big celebration this year because you can all be together, and that's truly what this whole holiday season is about. And yeah, we can't look, yeah, it's coming so fast, I can't believe it.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Oh, and I think, okay, if Belinda is ready. Hi, Belinda. I think you're muted, Belinda. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I apologize. I had company and I literally had to just ask them to leave. Oh my gosh. But anyway. But I'm okay now.
You're okay now. Oh, that is good.
Yes.
Belinda, meet Maggie. She's just with the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba. She's taken over Ruben's position. And we've just been talking about her shared experience of coming here and then how what Christmas means to her. So.
Right. Okay.
All right. So
hang on.
Yeah.
Let me get settled.
Okay.
I have to put on my reading glasses because I can't see you.
Okay.
You're blurred. Yeah, hang on. And once I get my reading glasses on, and then my hair is like, oh my God.
You look beautiful, Belinda.
I'm trying my best to look beautiful. I was supposed to have a haircut by now, and then I had to cancel the appointment on Monday too. So anyway, here I am.
Here you are. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and through all of this. And first of all, happy holidays. And let's talk about how you're going to celebrate the holidays. Are you the whole family going to get together? How are you going to spend it?
Yes, as a matter of fact. But let me just, I want to just add a couple of things before. Geez, I'm still trying to fix my hair. Anyway, first of all, as the original people of this country here in Canada and the States, we didn't have, it's not part of our culture to celebrate Christmas. We didn't know what Christmas was until, other people came to our country. Okay, so, but many people have adopted that as their way of life, and it's wonderful. And I remember, as before I went to residential school, I left to go there when I was 9. But before that, when I was living at home, one of the things that I remember and beautiful memories for me is when literally the whole reserve and all the kids would go to church New Year's Eve. And us kids would have such a wonderful time because we got to play outside and, play along the way there. And so it was, and then singing the hymns in the Innu language, which was Cree. And anyway, so those are the things that I remember as as a child growing up in our home. And I do remember turkey. Um, I remember oranges in the stockings. And I do remember one Christmas I got a doll. Now, I may have had more Christmases with more presents, but I don't remember everything. And then when went to residential school, like I said, when I was 9, and because many of us couldn't come home because our parents couldn't afford to send us money to come home, so we spent many Christmases at the residential school. And one of the things every time was we would get the long brown stockings, long brown. Anyway, so there was always an orange at the bottom of the stocking, and then some candy, and then some peanuts. The ones with the shells where you have to put stuff. They would always be at the foot of our bed. And then we would always get a present every Christmas while we were at residential school. So those are the things that I remember as a child growing up. And then, so I kept that tradition going from when I got my own family. So Christmas is a big thing here, and you have to come to my house to know that, because I decorate like crazy. And I think I'm known as Mrs. Santa Claus of Winnipeg. Anyway, so I love decorating. I love the spirit of Christmas. I myself am not a Christian follower. I honor the ways of my ancestors, and I totally believe in Creator because I know that I came from there. So through my spirit, the spirit is how we connect to Creator in my culture. And so in my home, always Christmas dinner, all the kids, the grandchildren, other family members, if they're in the city and they have no place to go, even friends that have no place to go. Christmas Day is a day that we come together, and always, and I love feeding people. That's one of the things that I do well. And so Christmas Day is a big thing. Even Christmas Eve, especially with the grandkids, when they can open the presents and then go to bed and then wake up in the morning and they open some more. So those things are really wonderful for me. Those are things that I cherish as an Innu woman. Innu says who I am in my language, and I don't need the government to tell me in any way, shape, or form who I am. I name who I am myself. And so my children, for example, my little grandchildren, my oldest one right now is 7, and then 5 and 4. But what they will know as they grow older is that they will know the history of this country, of the original people of this country. They will know that they are descendants of the original people of this country. So that's my role. And one of my little grandchildren, my granddaughter, for example, already was in the sweat lodge at 3 months old, getting her spirit name, which is one of the rites of passages. And then at 1 year, when she was a year old, we did the walking out ceremony when they're 1. And this is the first time that they touch Mother Earth for the very first time. And they can walk inside the house and in the sidewalk and in the malls and stuff like that. But the ground, that's the day that they come on that. And they begin first by getting teachings from grandmothers in the teepee. And so they're already now learning who they are and what their role is going to be here on Earth. So there's many more to come. And so that's my role as a grandmother, to do the rites of passages so that our children know who they are. Because when you think about the history of Canada, in the 500 years that we've had newcomers come to our land, that the rites of passages probably stopped like probably 400 years ago, just because the newcomers said that the way that we were doing things and believing were evil and the work of the devil. So we know that's a lie. It's totally a lie, because you're coming from what you believe, not how we lived our lives here according to the law of God, because we only had that one law. And so today I live by that law. And today I know who I am. You see, because the government of Canada made it against the law for me to be who I am, you know? And
Wow.
so now that I know, and no one can ever take that away from me, my grandchildren will know who they are too. And they've got other nationalities in them that they're going to know about too. Yeah.
Oh.
So our celebration of Christmas for me is always a happy time, a good time of sharing and giving and having friends over. I had on December 28th for 24 years, I had a Christmas party for my friends. Yeah, like sometimes I had 100 people
Oh
in
my
my home
goodness. Wow.
every year, 24 years. And then COVID hit. So 2019 was the last party I had. Haven't been able to have it since. I'm not sure if I'll have it this year
No.
either. I think I'll wait.
Just one question, Belinda. It's such a wonderful story, and it is so wonderful to see you so passionate and to know who you are. My question to you, to your grandkids, and maybe, well, they're still too young to take,
Yeah.
to be able to grasp it. Will you share your residential school years with them?
Oh, absolutely. I will. Actually, I was asked by the school that my granddaughter goes to. She's 7 now, in grade 2. They have asked me to come and share my experience with their staff. So
Oh,
they've 2 of them have already learned that history. So I'll be sharing more of that with the other teachers as well.
oh,
Yeah.
no, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
So we're already starting that process.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Maggie, I've got a question from you from one of our viewers. Do you have any big goals for what you would like to see and do with the ECCM?
In a big goal.
Yes, or
Okay.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, my big goal would be to have the ECCM sit at the table with the government so we can have a say in whatever goes on. Yes. Yeah. We've been granted a lot, but still, there are a lot of things that new immigrants need. When we talk about immigration, people who come in, the difficulties they go in. Yes, our indigenous people have laid the land down for us. They've shared it with us. They've given it all to us. But we have lots of bureaucracy going on that doesn't allow people to be able to live here, the way they can. And so my goal would be to help ECCM move people, be able to have jobs, have education, be able to assimilate into the culture here, and also join in with everything and give back to Canada. So that's what I would like to see ECCM do.
Wow, that is definitely an incredible goal, and I truly think that you will do it, Maggie. So we'll come back. We'll be here a year from
Yes.
now, and you'll be sitting at that table.
That's
Belinda,
right.
Belinda, I have a
Yeah.
question for you now, and this is going
Yes.
to Indigenous traditions. Are there any traditional ways to honor this season and these moons? And I've been asked maybe if you can explain the moons and the seasonal changes and how that is Indigenous people's traditional tracked, how they track the passage of time.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's very interesting. When you say the word time, we don't have a word for time because it's passing and it's a nanosecond, right? So it's gone. But we definitely have the 4 seasons that we celebrate, which is the spring, summer, fall, and winter. So each one stands for something in the world. It's not just our world. It wasn't just our world, but as Indigenous people, we celebrated the beginning, the awakening of the earth, if you will, in the spring. And so in doing that, it's like we've been given life again to begin new life from the ground, and even ourselves as human beings. So being grateful for the opportunity that the spring, now that it's waking up the plants, if you will, so that we can start growing and start, things start to come alive again because they sleep in the winter, right? So, and then summer, of course, same thing. It's a celebration of ceremonies, medicine picking, um, sweat lodges, sun dances, having the opportunity to do these things in beautiful weather, and having fasts for and vision quests for young people, having the opportunity to have teachings from elders, grandfathers, grandmothers. In the wintertime was when we, as children, would hear the stories. We call it Visagachak, which is like a spiritual character, if you will. It's not a fairy tale. We don't have fairy tales. We have true things. And so I'm kind of a little bit ahead of myself there. But so then the summertime is activity, like it's movement, it's visiting, it's camping. Tribes used to go and visit each other and celebrate all kinds of ceremony. And then fall, again, is it's the beginning of where the earth is starting to move into the sleeping of plants again, if you will. So the medicines are already losing their leaves and all of that. But that's not to say that the medicines still can't be used. I mean, the whole earth is medicine. So it's a time of picking, for example, in the summertime, the sweetgrass and the sage and there's so many things there. The bare root, the rat root, lots and lots of, I've got lots of medicines here at my house already. So like chaga. Chaga is an amazing, amazing medicine. And you know the birch trees, the white birch trees? Okay, and see that black stuff that you see on there? That's chaga. That's medicine like you wouldn't believe. Like one of the best medicines in the world. So that's the time to be able to pick all of that. And in order for the chaga to do its medicinal purpose, if you will, it has to have been in minus 40-degree weather to get whatever it is that it needs to make it the medicine that it is. And so there's lots of teachings that go around about the medicines, and I'm not an expert by any means. I learn from people who share information, and the sad part for me as a granddaughter of a medicine woman, she was a pharmacist on the land, and they couldn't teach us anything because remember, we are not supposed to be who we were supposed to be, who we are. The government tried to take the Indian out of us, and it worked for many. And we're still struggling with that. And that's over 150 years. So that in itself is a time now for awakening. It's like the spring. We gotta wake up to what happened in our history. So the time of medicines and stuff like that, I just so wish I'd have been able to learn from my grandmother. And so, and then coming to fall, you know, it's starting to get ready to sleep again. And so then you must do the things you need to do to survive the winter, which means you then have to hunt, you have to dry your meat, you have to fish, and you can dry the fish, like all those things. Because if you don't do them at that time, you could starve in the winter. Yes, there are animals that you can, be trapping and stuff like that. But because time, as we know it, if you don't do the things in the seasons that you're supposed to do them, it could be disastrous as tribes of people. So you know that you have to do the things when you're supposed to do them. Otherwise, you could suffer the consequences. And then winter is really a time of sleep, if you will. It's a time of slowing down. It's like the bears, they go and hibernate. And so we need to take care of ourselves at that time as well. So that means we needed to have picked a lot of medicine in the summertime and to have it all through the winter. And I remember as a child, whenever I had a toothache or a cold, my grandmother always had. We call it wigas in our language, but it's and then in the English way it's rat root, and it comes from under the water, and you have to dig down there to get the rat root. But the medicine there is potent, and if it's fresh, oh boy. So I had I had a cold a couple of weeks ago. So boy, oh boy, oh boy. And you just chunk, small chunk like that, put it in your mouth and bite it, and you just suck the medicine that's in there. Sometimes it could be worse than Buckley's, but it works. Anyway, so those are the things that, and then again, the wintertime is when we got our stories from about Wisagajek. And in those stories, there was always a lesson to be learned. You see, we didn't just hear the words, we had to figure things out. So you had to be alert. And we used to go sleep over at my grandparents' house, the medicine people, because my grandpa was a medicine man and my granny was a pharmacist. And anyway, so us kids would try and fight. Like, it's my turn to go sleep in the middle. No, it's not, it's my turn. Anyway, so I won a few times. Well, Grandpa would have a nightmare like you wouldn't believe. Scare the crap out of me, but I was too scared to move, right? And then there'd be me arguing to get back into that bed again a couple of days, nights later. But those were wonderful memories, wonderful memories. And so, of course, all we had was like a potbelly stove. And all our beds were right around against the wall. Like it was one big place, 2-3 beds. And then so Grandpa had to get up in the morning and of course you have to make the fires to get the house warm. And then he'd put on a kettle and boil the water and throw in some tea bags. And man, those tea bags be just boiling like crazy. And then we get a cup each, like, a cup, and he'd come and bring that to us in bed so we could drink it and get warm. So those are wonderful. Oh, the other thing is too, right above the kitchen table, there was a little ledge up there. And on that ledge was the Bible and a comb. So Grandpa would take the comb and he'd comb his hair this way and he'd comb it like that and he'd put it back up there, bring the Bible down, and he'd read passages from there in our language. So that was like every single day that happened in that house. We weren't there every single day, but when we were there, we totally loved it. And then he would make a big pot of porridge. So we would have that before we'd go to school. Because I went up to grade 3 before I went to residential school. So I was 9. But when I got to the school, and then we got there the first day, that's another story in itself, just getting there. But anyway, so the next day we were all we called it the chapel. And so they said, grade 12 student, go to room or whatever, 11, 10, 9. So coming down to grade 4, which I should have stood up, I was too scared. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know why I was there. So I didn't put my hand up. So I went back to grade 1.
Oh.
And and that's why I'm doubly smart by 4 grades. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, so those are the memories that I have. And for me, I want memories of my children, my grandchildren. I don't know, if I can flip this over, I want you to see what I got over there. Okay, so here's my house. All right, that's my house. Now look at those books down there. Yes. My little social girl, if I don't read them all, I'm in trouble. Anyway, so here's my. I'll just quickly show you
Yeah.
my. So that's full of lights, but I haven't turned them on yet. And then up there is my reindeer and my Santas. There's just a few of these Santas, but here we are. We got the carousel. We got that little thing over there, and it shines like crazy.
Oh, it is so cute, Belinda.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
And just
goodness.
watch this. Yeah. Isn't that cute?
It is
So
priceless.
I'm totally Mrs. Christmas. Look at
Oh,
this.
you are your tree. Oh my goodness, Belinda. That should
I
be
know,
that
it-
should be in
it's
front of
just-
City Hall. Oh,
Oh my God, yeah.
oh, thank you.
It's
You know
crazy,
what?
But
Yeah.
I just love every minute of. Okay, here's the kitchen thing.
Wow.
Great. Here's my kitchen decoration.
Do you bake too?
I got food there because I had company. Look at my Santa soldiers up on top. Isn't that crazy? And look at these ones. That's just a few. Oh my God.
Oh, it's
And
gorgeous.
Look at this one.
Oh,
And those are angels down at the bottom.
oh yes.
I got
Oh,
those at a garage sale.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm going to show you.
it's
That's all I'm going to show
beautiful.
you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I do have a question for Maggie to wrap up, and Maggie, for you and your family, especially this year, what are you looking most forward to?
Looking forward to Christmas and being together, being with my nieces and nephews and the grandchildren. So the night before Christmas, we will be together. We will sing lots of choruses, and sometimes we will sing some of the songs in our local dialect, which of course sometimes the children try to imitate and they sing the parts that we all sing. So we will stay up all night past midnight because we are waiting to welcome the newborn who is Christ Jesus. Then in the morning, we open presents. So presents is a lot. Or like back home when we don't get presents becomes like cookies, which we call biscuits, together with some soft drinks. So it is mostly treats that will become our presents. And then mostly it will be food that is prepared, our local food. But here we will move to Canadian way and then we'll cook turkey and other things. Then we have a big dinner together. We do invite other people, especially people from our church or people who do not, some of the migrants who do not have family members here to join us. So the dinner is always at my sister's place in St. James. So they are the turkey families. So it becomes like we'll have about 60 people in the house. So we moved furniture around and we set the table so everybody gets to sit.
Oh,
After that, we celebrate again with lots of choruses singing in English and in our language. And also we have a big dance after that, celebrating Christmas.
oh,
So
that
that's just a
sounds
celebration.
wonderful. Yes. Oh, and I guess, you know what, to wrap things up, Belinda, anything that you would like to say to our viewers?
Well, my life today is totally about living under the law of God. So my life is about love, kindness, sharing, and just treating each other kindly and gently, no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, no matter what your life circumstances, you are a human being that came from Creator. That's our belief. And that you came from that pure essence of love, and that we all are pure essence of love. And we have to remember that because many people don't even like themselves. So my mission, my life, my passion is to teach people how to love themselves. And I'm good at it.
Oh, no doubt you are. And Maggie,
Before we go,
Yeah.
I just want to say how we do great in Christmas back home. We will say Afishia Pa, meaning Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And also to let people know, we won't call Santa Santa, we call Santa Father Christmas. So those are a few things that is different for us here.
Oh,
So Afishiapa, to all your audience and everybody who is listening at this time, Afishiapa from Ghana, one of our dialects that means Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
oh.
Mm.
Well, thank you so much, Belinda and Maggie.
Thank you.
And we wish everybody all the best over the holidays and all the best to your families and friends, and may you spend it well and healthy. Thank you so much for joining us on Healing Hearts tonight, ladies.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Merry
Thank
Christmas
you.
to you all.
Yes.
And I hope we meet someday there, young lady.
Yes,
We need to get together.
yes, definitely,
That's right.
definitely. And
Thank
spread
you.
the
Nice
love.
meeting you, Belinda. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll talk
Yeah.
again. All
Yes.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.